All right, guys, so we are going to write what could be the polynomial that has the given real roots. So remember, real roots means that this is where it's actually crossing the x-axis at those points. So again, this is not taking into consideration any stretches vertically or horizontally or anything of that nature. We are just discussing a potential answer that would give us these outcomes or these solutions as our x-intercepts. So in the previous video, we need to find our factors. So I have my roots. So x equals 2, x equals 4, x equals -1. So I need that to be set equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So x minus 2, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, which is going to give me x minus 4. And I'm going to add 1 to both sides, which is going to give me x plus 1. So again, these are the factors of a polynomial that is going to have these x-intercepts or roots or zeros. Now I'm going to use my FOIL, box method, whatever you choose, to multiply these three together to write a polynomial that would give me these answers back. So I'm going to use FOIL for this example and then distributive property. So x times x is going to give me x squared. X times a -4 gives me -4x, -2x, positive 8. So that has x squared minus 6x plus 8. So that means I've taken care of this factor and this factor, but I'm not done because I have one more factor to address, that x plus 1. So I'm going to take x plus 1 and multiply it by x squared minus 6x plus 8. So x times x squared gives me x to the third power. X times a -6x is going to give me a -6x squared. X times 8 gives me 8x. And then we're going to do 1 times x squared, which is x squared. And I like to stack them. You could write straight across and then combine like terms, but I like to go ahead and get them kind of together. So 1 times a -6x is going to be a -6x. And 1 times 8 is going to be 8, because 1 times anything gives you back exactly what you had before. So then we're going to work straight down and combine like terms. So I have x cubed minus 5x plus 2x plus 8. So that is a potential polynomial that would have the solutions of 2, 4, and -1. Now, as long as you know how to make it into factors, you can plug these in your calculators once you have your answer to double check and make sure they're correct. So x to the third power minus 5x squared plus 2x plus 8. We're hoping we did our math right. And as long as, again, you made your factors correctly, x minus 2, x minus 4, and x plus 1. And then we can check our table. Uh-oh, I did something wrong. Sorry, guys. Go to y equals. I missed it here. There's a plus. So we're going to go down here and fix that. X squared plus 2x. So if I go to my table, those numbers should match, which means you do have it correct. So we did multiply our 3 binomials correctly to get this answer. So again, this polynomial will have the solutions of 2, 4, and -1. All right, so example number 2. Make sure you write these in your notes. So -3 multiplicity of 2. Remember, this means this is a bounce. Like if I was looking at the graph on a polynomial on a graph, this would be a bounce. So that means I'm going to write -3 twice and 5. So x equals, x equals, x equals. So that's going to move that 3. It's going to be an x plus 3, x plus 3, and x minus 5. So those are our factors. And now we're going to multiply those together. This time I'll do box method for those of you who like box method. So I have x plus 3 and x plus 3. X times x is x squared. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 3 is 9. Combine our like terms, and we end up with x squared plus 6x plus 9. And again, that's taking care of this factor and this factor. We're not done yet because we still have that x minus 5. So I'm going to take that trinomial and I'm going to multiply it by x minus 5. So x times x squared is going to be x cubed X times 6x would be 6x squared. X times 9 is going to give you 9x. Then negative 5 times x squared is going to give you a negative 5x squared. Negative 5 times 6x will give me a negative 30x. And negative 5 times 9 is going to give me a negative 45. Combine your like terms. So x cubed plus x squared negative 21x minus 45. And so again, you can check that by putting that in your calculator in your y1 or y2, either way, and then putting your potential factors in as well. So I know I have an x plus 3, an x plus 3, an x minus 5. And hopefully that is going to match x to the third power plus x squared minus 21x minus 45. If I check my table, they should match the y1 and y2, and that means I did my math right. So our answer is x cubed plus x squared minus 21x minus 41. So this polynomial would have the zeros of negative 3 twice and 5. So it would cross the x-axis at 5 and bounce off the x-axis at negative 3. All right, so example number 3. Again, keep on trucking. We're writing these in our notes. So negative 2 multiplicity of 2. Again, that's a bounce. So that means negative 2 happens twice. And then I have a 1/2. So x equals negative 2 2 times, and x equals 1/2. So it's going to cross the x-axis at 1/2, and it's going to bounce at negative 2 on the x-axis as far as the graph should appear. So I'm going to move that negative 2 over to get this set equal to 0. It's going to be x plus 2, x plus 2. Now, I need to get the 2 off the bottom, so that's going to give me 2x equals 1, and I'm going to move the 1, which is going to give me 2x minus 1. Now, that is the algebraic way of doing it when you have a fraction as your root. I have been known to know that since this is a negative 2, I know it's going to be plus 2. Since this is a fraction, I always think about this guy. He just bounces up to the front. So he's going to jump on in the front, and it's going to be the opposite of whatever the power this is. So if it had happened to be 3/4, then that's going to be 4x because he jumps in the front, minus 3 because that 3 is positive. Or if I do 2/7, it's too simple, so that's going to be 7x minus 2. Let's do a negative 1/3. That 3 is going to jump in the front with our x. It's a negative, so it becomes a positive 1. So this is another way. So again, in my mind, this jumps up to the front, which is right here. This jumps up to the front, which is right here. This jumps up to the front, which is right here. And then our symbols just are opposite of whatever they are. Or again, this is your algebraic y. Now we're going to multiply these together. So x plus 2 and x plus 2. X times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. We do that twice. And 2 times 2 is 4. So right now I have x squared plus 4x plus 4. And again, that's only taking care of 2 of my solutions. And now I have 2x minus 1. So minus 2x minus 1. If I was to do this box method when it's this big, because sometimes they get really big, and it might be easier depending on how neatly you write and your preference. So x squared, 4x, and 4. So x squared times 2x gives me a 2x cubed. Negative 1 times x squared is a negative 1x squared. 4x times a negative 1 is going to be negative 4x. I'm shooting across the bottom because this is an easy one. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. 2x times 4x is going to give me 8x squared. 2x times 4 is going to give me 8x. Again, you're going to combine your like terms. So 2x cubed, he's by himself. I have my x squareds here, and 8 minus 1 is going to give me minus 7x squared. I'm sorry, plus 7x squared because I have 8 and I lost 1. I have 8 and I lost 4 x's, so that means I have 4 x's left over, and then minus 4. So this polynomial would have the solutions of negative 2 twice as a bounce and a 1/2. And then the factors of x plus 2, and 2x minus 1. All right, last but not least, this is the last one for the notes where you have your work. So I have 4, 0, and negative 3/4. So if I set x equal to 4, x equals 0, x equals a negative 3/4. Move that 4, it's going to be an x minus 4. Move that 0, we can just do x plus 0 if you want to stick to it. Or in theory, it's just x. Because if I add 0 to it, it's nothing. But that is still a root. This means it's going to cross the x-axis at 0. Probably at your origin, right? So then x equals negative 3/4. The 4, we're going to get off the bottom by multiplying both sides by 4 if we're doing it algebraically. So 4x equals a negative 3. And then I need to move that 3. So I'm going to 4x plus 3. Or again, guy on the bottom bounces up to the front, opposite of whatever it is. So it's going to be a plus because it was a minus. And now I have my factors. So I have 1, 2, 3 factors. So when I'm done with this, my final answer should be raised to the third power. So I'm going to leave this one to the end because it's the easiest. So x minus 4, 4x plus 3. X times 4x is going to be 4x squared. X times 3 gives me 3x. Negative 4 times 4x is going to give me a negative 16x. Negative 4 times 3 is going to be a negative 12. Combine our like terms in the middle. And so we have this quadratic right now. And then so I've taken care of 2 of the 3 factors, so this one and this one, but I still have this x left. I'm just going to distribute it all the way through. So that's going to give me 4x to the third power, negative 13x squared, and negative 12x. So again, this is a polynomial that would have a 0 of 0, 4, and negative 3/4. So make sure you have all those in your notes and submit those today for your grade.